Alright. More Kerbal Space Program. If I can stop coughing long enough. And finally pick up where I left off. Get that chat up. Whoop. There we go. Okay. We've got a grand total of 1 science. We're doing great. That was sarcasm. I do need to get these engines here. That is going to be something I save up for. However, before that, we're going to get these command module parts. Probably this electronics. Maybe. Maybe that first. I don't know. Anywho. We've got stuff going on. And I hear cats destroying my stuff, which is always good. It's always a good way to run a stream. So, we have several things on the way to Minmus. Including a rescue craft. We do need to do possibly some other things in the meantime. I can hear my cat being a terrorist. You know what? Let's get that Orbiter 3. Let's take that sucker down. Want to get rid of that last remnant of our very unsuccessful Nedbo attempt. Back when we were saving Nedbo early on. I think the reason I failed this one is because I actually went prograde, which will help. Let's go get it. Go get it. So we're gonna need somewhere in here. Cleanup probe 2. Let's update this a little bit, though. Take away that old version of the Terrier. Should probably do. It's the first stage, then second stage. Gotta add in a step to separate the boosters, which go here. And then we got this separation with these to deorbit that second stage. Blowing the fairing should be earlier. Then we'll have... Of course, this engine gets activated after we blow those. So we'll put that on the same thing. These go together as well. And then there's the spark engine. which will switch this over to the new spark engine as well, because it's the other thing we're missing. Part updates. All right. Yep, let's do it. We're going for Orbiter 3. Okay. Just to verify. Yes, it is indeed going in a prograde direction, which was originally the reason that we screwed up. Which I thought I had fuel, but I guess, you know, I guess I was mistaken. Yeah, let's just go for it. Full thrust. Does seem to be a little bit of an aggressive initial ascent. Probably was not supposed to do full throttle in this one if I remember right, but whatever. We're going into a high orbit, it's not going to make a big difference. You got to drive a high apogee anyway. Keep losing the chat. Why do I keep losing the chat? There we go. Anywho. Yeah, we are not at a safe altitude for the fairing. Not what I was thinking. Oh, our apogee is already quite high. Their altitude's quite high, so we're going to drop the fairing finally. Down just a little bit to help the orbit along. Nearly in space already. So, getting the cleanup probe off to Orbiter 3. Still looking quite good. Unexpected. But that would get us to orbit. Well, we're in orbit now. Okay. This might actually look pretty cool if instead of relying on the regular fairing, if I put like a structural tube there. That might actually look kind of cool. Alright. We need to set this orbiter as our target. We'll start seeing what happens if we and we have to correct for inclination, of course. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Alright, we'll do an inclination burn here. Okay, that should do nicely. Just trying to find where we want to start our burn. Well, we could do a 2-burn transfer. That would use an excessive amount of fuel, though. Do a proper Hoffman transfer here. So we would need I think a little later actually is where we'd need to go. Actually, it was earlier, wasn't it? It would need to be like here-ish. No. Increases the distance. So it's getting ahead. So we need to go later because we are catching up to it. Which would mean that we would do this right here-ish. Okay. That's not too bad. The difference at that point would be timing, some altitude. Okay, that's a sweet spot. And 14 is the sweet spot there as well. And it's really going to be an inclination difference, isn't it? It's odd. Thought our inclination maneuver was set up to be perfect. Guess not. Let's go ahead and try and correct that a little bit, shall we? Oh, we can't at that point. Why on earth not? Why off earth not? Alright, we'll do two inclination maneuvers then. Fine. See how it is. Well, missed our sweet spot there. I don't know what's going on with that. So let's just take it one step at a time. Make that a little easier. Set for our maneuver. Just a little closer. So a 1 minute 31 second burn means we're going to want to start about 46 seconds away. So it's going to be a pretty drastic inclination change. This is how Orbiter 3 ended up short on fuel. Was being stupid and doing this first, which I am going to repeat the mistake. This time with excessive amounts of fuel to compensate, though. Yeah, using a single Terrier engine for this craft might have been a little underpowered. But I think we're doing all right. Oh, I overshot. I was not paying attention at all. Whoops. Well, that's quite all right. We'll move this maneuver to the descending node. Look at that, it actually benefits us. Come up with a better node. Who knew all I had to do was screw up a burn? .1 looks like the best we can pull off right now. Probably adjust altitude a little bit and make that perfect, but it's actually a little bit of inclination difference still, despite the absurd amount of inclination maneuvering we've been doing. Well, there we are. Just gotta not screw up these two burns, like I did the last one. Easy peasy. I like the way the comms network's working. Ping, ping, ping. I dig it. That's how it's supposed to work. It's great. Alright, now. Let's warp ourselves around. So we're going to have a 53-second burn, means we want to be about 27 seconds away from the maneuver when we start to burn. So when we're 27 seconds away from the maneuver node. I'm getting ready with a button so I don't overshoot. A little bit of correction. I want to do this one exact if I can. Okay, the real intersect is way off. Okay. That sucks. Well, that sucks. What's the major issue there? Still got inclination differences, maybe, possibly? Not really. Differences would then be radial. Well, we got plenty of time to try and figure this one out. We're going to try and do it manually rather than try to do node, because the node's going to take me forever. Don't like that. So, manual radial adjustment this way then. See, we just went too far. Flip it back around. Just take a little bit off. Okay, so point 0.7 was the sweet spot. So what's the difference now? Would it be altitude at that point? Probably. Sure wish it would give me each of their altitudes at separation. That would be very useful. We'll do an auto aim to prograde real quick. Okay, we hit our sweet spot of 7 and then back again. Okay. I'm not too worried about doing extra burns here and wasting fuel. For the simple reason that I'm going to be discarding this stage by the time we get to that point before we try and do this equalization burn. Because I want this to actually fall back and burn up. And otherwise the stage is going to run out of fuel while it's very high apogee, or perigee, rather. I don't want the perigee to be high when that happens. Okay. Need to reduce thrust significantly. A little less thrust so I can fine-tune this just a little more. There's a sweet spot again. Okay. We had the 0.6. We had improved a little bit to 0.6. Send it back the other way for a second. So, yep, a little bit of prograde, a little bit of radial burn. This is just the most painful gradual maneuver. Yeah, whatever. 1.6 is still actually pretty good. What's our relative speed going to be? 242.6 meters per second. That's not bad. We've got an absurd amount of delta V in that upper stage, so no worries there. It's going to be 3 hours away. How's everything else doing? Fueler on the way, probes on the way. Yeah, you know what? I think we can probably just time warp this and not really care, huh? So the solar panel's getting optimal lighting. So 242.6 meters per second. I'm not actually looking to do the maneuver itself, but just get the measurement of how many seconds it's going to take to burn. Roughly. So we're looking at about a 1 minute 31 second burn time. That's awful. It's about 45 seconds away. It should pretty much be at apogee at that point. Yeah. Okay, let's just warp around. Getting our rendezvous set up. It's now becoming quite simple for us. So let's warp a little closer to Apogee. And from this point, what we're going to do is we're going to eject that lower stage. Even though we haven't used all the fuel yet from that stage, I want to make sure it is getting deorbited properly and safely. So we're going to aim prograde, and we're going to stage it off. And as you can see, it will now fall back to Kerbin and smash into it, which is perfect. That's what we wanted. That is going to mess us up a little bit, as I very much expected it would. We are going to have to decelerate slightly, because that does push us against us when we went to fire that. So, to activate my engine. Oh, that really messed up our intersect. Oh, yeah, we got some inclination difference, don't we? I don't know how that happened. There we go. Close enough. Now we can once again just check this. Now we're down to just the one engine. 243.6 is what we want. Oh yeah, this is much more efficient. Just having this one engine. So we're going to have a 28-second burn. So 14 seconds from our point of closest intersect, which is right here. That is where we'll want to do our retrograde burn to our target. Relative to our target, I should say. So 14 seconds away is where we're going to go for it. Our signal now bounces off Orbiter 3, which I find quite interesting. So there it is, catching up to us rather quickly. We're 14 seconds away. That's where I'm going to want to really start this burn. It's approaching quite rapidly now. Letting it overshoot us a little bit, unfortunately. So my math was just a little off there. But still, 357 meters away is not bad at all. Actually quite good. Okay, we're going to arm our grabber. We are going to go full tilt here. I say full tilt, but I mean, 5 meters per second. We're going to go to docking mode and turn our RCS on and on linear. We can fine-tune our approach. Should really have no problem at all grabbing this one. Especially since it is currently powered on. Put our little engine directly at it. Okay, we have capture. Perfect. Now I need to aim retrograde. Oop, don't need to use the RCS for that. Although, at this point it's going to be wasted anyway. I can actually probably transfer fuel, I think, with this thing, can't I? Could probably send this thing back on its own. But there's no point in keeping this thing out here anyway, so... Yeah, screw it. So finally removing that last stranded orbiter from when we were trying to rescue Nedbo. And we are going to bring this in fast. So first step to that, we're going to come to a dead stop. Alright, we're going to start accelerating in the opposite direction. And while we gain speed a little bit, let's change some of these to go forward by throttle. And we can finally aim prograde, which is now directly at Kerbin. We're actually giving ourselves kind of an orbit there. I don't want to do that. Let's just make sure we're aiming directly at Kerbin. Good velocity RCS. Which actually, we have a lot of RCS. And we still need to send something out to kill that Keosat 4, actually. Can't wait to get the Prospector probe onto Minmus, though. That I'm excited for. That is a lot of RCS on this thing. Oh, we had extra mono propellant even because of the capsule, too. That's cool. Bingo. We flip retrograde. Then we time warp to this thing's impending doom. This has been, this one craft has been in orbit 153 days of the 166 days that our campaign file has gone in Kerbal time. Make sure we're not missing anything important here. Nah, Prospector's still a while away from Minmus. We're good. Still the bad idea ship we need to take down as well, actually. Got a lot of things I need to take down. Alright, so rapidly accelerating at this point. Yeah, there we go. Alright, we're now behind the sun, so there's no sense in holding on to this bottom piece. That was just to keep our batteries charged. Well, I guess I can actually keep these draining first. Keep these two draining first. Really only have two of those? Huh. Weird. So I will drag that out just a little longer. Passing by something. Within 20 kilometers. Don't know what that is, but... Passing by something. Alright, now we're about to hit the atmosphere. Going very fast, so we're going to... disarm. We're going to stage. Something's melting. Something is melting. Okay. This is going into the atmosphere much faster than you'd normally want to go through the atmosphere. I'll just have everyone notice. Drogue shoot. Just because I can, I'm going to try and save the capsule itself. Get the drogue to slow us down just a little more. Main shoot. Putting these very low. But, seems alright. Our Orbiter 3 that's been in space for an entire Kerbal year, pretty much. I will have a nice, easy retirement on the beach. And even that madness used 8 points of ablator. So, yeah, 200 points of ablator. I just want to know, what on earth is that supposed to be for? Why would you need 200? Yep, some other parts managed to splash down. That was an interesting side mission. Still have tons of space debris to eventually get rid of. But we are doing good. We're slowly getting rid of everything. Well, that's base trash. Now, the Prospector probe. It still has days and days Great. Lovely. Okay. Not what I was hoping for. Well, gee, do we go for other space junk then? We still have the orbiter relays. We still have the bad idea ship. This is actually going to burn up on its own eventually. This looks like this will probably burn up on its own eventually. Nope. Apparently not. This debris will fall back to a high periaps, have an encounter with the moon, have a second encounter with Minmus, and then be on a higher orbit? That is confusing as all heck. What on earth is going on here? I think that leads to a... Hold on. Oh, that just leads nowhere. Kicks back in. Oh, that's the encounter and that's the escape. Oh, that's weird. What are guys doing here? Sunsat 3 is finally on an independent orbit. That's cool. We already got its orbit pretty much where we want it. Looks like we're more or less on the right inclination. Okay, that's kind of neat. Don't see our sentinel. It's still close in? That is still really close in, that's why. Alright. Nothing going on there. Shall we... I guess I'm gonna time warp. I really don't want to. I don't like time warping multiple days. But that's going to be unavoidable as I start doing interplanetary missions here. So first, get us to our apogee, we're going to aim prograde. We're going to ditch this second stage. All right. Off it goes. So now that, of course, should fall back to Kerbin without fuss. Or totally not. Okay. What's going on here? Oh, they hadn't finished burning yet. Okay. Alright. That was weird. That was kind of a weird glitch. Kind of startled me, actually, even. But okay. Yep, that is now actually going to fall back to Kerbin like it's supposed to. Switch back to the probe itself. Let's warp our way to Minmus. So we'll have to plan out our capture burn. So it'll only be a 9-second burn. That's pretty good. Actually just bring it a little lower so we go a little faster towards Minmus. So a shorter orbital period. It was a nice low periapse. Then we can circularize and find our landing zone. Still only makes this a 10-second burn. So 5 seconds from our maneuver node. We start burning. A little bit of correction. Okay, our periapse is totally safe. Totally fine. Totally fine. have to figure out where this... Uh-huh. Okay. Well, even right about here, we can probably do an extreme maneuver right here. Put us down right on that field we wanted to land in. That ice field. Yeah. I think we're ready to warp to that too. I know the rescue tug is coming up. We might have to do the rescue tug capture before we get there. I like watching the signal jump through the relays. That's really cool. Makes me really appreciate having that relay network right now. You can clearly see how many times it would be getting blocked by Minmus, and it's just it's just redirecting around the equilateral network. It's pretty cool. The equilateral triangle meaning that all parts of the surface are pretty much covered at all times, and that also any signal can bounce completely around. Although it is also utilizing Surveyor 2. So it is also utilizing one polar satellite. Is the rescue tug actually going to make... It barely looks like it's going to make any kind of interaction with Minmus. Warp the extra 9 minutes. Oh, that's right, there's rotation. Whoops. Planets rotate! Alright, let's just start going retrograde hard. Okay, that doesn't really work for us. Let's I want to bring that back up. Nope, that's the opposite of what we wanted to do. Other maneuver. Flipping around. Flipping around. Flipping around. There we go. Now that puts us at perigee. 20,000 meters. We can reduce the apogee more effectively. Nice and circular. Okay. Very good. Very good. We'll pick our landing zone later. Let's switch over to the rescue tug. Since this does need to rescue our stranded lander. This wonky craft. This does not make an encounter. Why did I think this made an encounter? That's usually something you should check. Okay. Alright, we can save this. We can do this. We're okay. We're alright. We're fine. Let's eject that lower stage retrograde. Just a minute. Send that flying back. Now, yeah. That's no bueno. It's like this missed a maneuver. Yep, we missed a maneuver, that's why. Oops. That's usually something you want to remember to do. Where is this maneuver we missed? And why is it? Okay. Alright. We goofed up pretty bad. Well, we could aim directly at Minmus. That seems like that can't possibly be a flawed plan, right? No, we don't want to aim directly at it. We want to aim where it's going to be. We want to aim here. Yep, let's do it. Let's, improvise. Yeah! Improvisation. Totally professional. Totally knew exactly what I was doing. I don't know what anyone would ever be worried for. Especially not I. There's got to be a better way to fine-tune this. I can almost settle for that 10.1, even though it's quite bad. I see a single digit in there, and it's killing me because I want the single digit. 5.9, okay, I'll take that for now. And then we'll tweak it when we get closer. Alright. Crazy docking thingy. Perfectly valid. So 10 seconds away from maneuver, we're going to start burning. This is basically just the service module of our 3-man capsule doubled up and flipped over onto each other. In real life, that would be a brilliant cost-saving maneuver in development costs. Fortunately, it doesn't really translate to Kerbal. Twin spark engines are kicking butt. No, actual intersect came out even worse. Well, let's just see what we can manually do, since maneuver nodes are way too sensitive for this particular maneuver. Yep, that makes it worse, so we need to go the other way. Too far. We need to throttle down the engines a lot. Pretty good. I'm just realizing that I should have done that first. And then did this to not do the radial change. That's fine. Retrograde one more time. Just a little bit. Yeah, once again, I made it worse. We'll be fine. I'm gonna make our descending node correction. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm gonna set our descending node. So our correction needs to be done here. Okay. Three days, 4 hours to that maneuver. This is killing me. Absolutely killing me. And our probe is where? Exactly? Where's our probe? Where is our probe? Wait a minute. Where the hell's the surveyor? Or the prospector, whatever we called it. Where did that go? Hang on a second. Didn't just disappear. Sitting up at a perfectly safe orbit. Where the hell is it? I'm very confused right now. We're finding out what's going on, though. Is there like a Bermuda Triangle of Kerbal Space Program? Nope, it's perfectly safe. It's right there. I don't know why that wasn't popping up. That is bizarre. Oh, and we're missing our landing zone again. Damn it. Okay. We're going to take this around Minmus and get it in position once more to test our landing zone. For ore. We want to test ore in different areas. So, yeah, we got this. So we want to land in this flat zone there. So we're going to add a maneuver right here to go up, to go retrograde, overshoot a little bit. And once more, we're going to be throwing away a ton of fuel in this lower stage. Just like we did on the moon landing. Oh well. Only going to be a 3-second burn. Maybe this time we can land this upright since we're going to be landing in a flat zone. Maybe we can actually land this a couple times and boost our capability. So ideally about 1 second away from our maneuver node. So we're going to ignite this. There's a little bit of correction to be done this way. Okay, that should put us over our desired target. Back to retrograde. So we're going to be going for that zone that we just had a lander on. I want to test what the actual ore rate is there. So we can learn how to read this scanner, the surveyor, a little easier. Notice the theme, though. That's the surveyor who did all the scanning, and now this is the prospector. I'm actually going to want to go a little bit more this way. Might have been overkill. No, actually looks pretty dead on. So auto-tracking retrograde again. Sure, we're heading almost perfectly straight down. Oop, don't warp that much. That's a little bit, a lot of warp. Okay, but we seem to be coming down really right where I wanted us to, so that's looking good there. At least. Time warp it just a little bit. So this should be at perfectly level ground. So we should have no problem stopping at the very last second here. Let's try a real suicide burn. Let's see if we can maybe get dumb luck out of it. Just blind estimation. Way too early. Way too early. That was not even close. It's a powerful engine, though. Okay, landed the whole thing upright. Not bad. Not too shabby. So run analysis. Minmus Great Flats. So this does have a higher concentration of ore at the surface. This zone right here. So this is actually the good zone to be in. If I go to the Minmus rover... our lightly damaged Minmus rover. Or surface scan here is only 7.03. So that means from the perspective of the Surveyor 2, so heat map green, set the cutoff high. Okay. And check it out from here. So, okay. Alright, so red, on this scan, red is better. So now I know. Green is less concentration. Actually, focus on Minmus there so I don't go crazy. So, red is higher concentration. Green is lower concentration then. Okay, now I know. I kind of figured that's what it was going to be, and that's why I had sent my first lander here. But it is definitely good to confirm that. So this was actually even in like a yellow area, not even like an orange area. So this was really not as good as it could be. This is still kind of not quite ideal. This could be a landing beacon if I can just get it to the ideal location, which would be slightly north, slightly east. So that way. Right? No. Yes. That's barely a hop even. Just letting this find its normal ballistic trajectory on its own. Tracking retrograde. And once again, just put it down gently and I'll see if I was any closer. Whoop! Okay, that's full throttle, not throttle up. That was bad. Alright. That's fine. Just hit the wrong key. No big deal. Still amazed that's not tipping over. Well, it's kind of maybe, almost. It's like trying to figure out what it wants to do. What happens when you try to use a transfer stage as your landing stage? Did that get us any closer at all? Hold on. We're going to see if we can put a marker down. Good old curb net. I know we've got curb net on the actual lab. Oh, that's right. This only has biome and... Even though it's right there and I can see... Well, it should be like right there. Let's see how close I did. I can always view it from here. Not even close. Nope. Not just completely not even close. Like I wasn't even trying. That was bad. Did that just give me the option, by the way? Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. No. No, it did not. And Surveyor's not in a good position to mark that yet. This is frustrating. Pretty sure I went in the right direction, just didn't go anywhere near far enough. So let's see if I can kind of just figure this out. Like it's a significant distance more north and east. But still on the ice field. Which makes me think I'm actually going in the wrong direction. I think I actually am. I think I was going north and west. I think I was disoriented. Waypoints would make this a lot easier. Really wish the Surveyor was in a good position. Wow, that really like takes no time at all to stop this. And we went like... Looks like we just didn't move at all, actually, is what it looks like. Whatever. I guess I'll just wait for Surveyor to be in a good position. But yeah, so those would be our good landing zones. At least now I know. Alright, let's time warp this sucker to its maneuver. This is going to be to rescue our stranded lander. We're 6 minutes away. It's only a 5-second burn with this extremely low throttle setting. Just going to up the throttle setting slightly. There we go. Alright, so 2 seconds away from the maneuvers, we're going to start burning. Extremely low thrust setting. Alright, now our relative speed to target is going to be 82.3 meters per second. So we are going to crank these again. Aim retrograde to target. Actually, we're going to not do that just yet. We're going to aim perfectly north, so I can make sure our solar panels are getting sunlight no matter what our rotation is. And then we're going to get a little closer to our intercept here, which is in 8 minutes. So if we actually slow down a little early, we'll be better off. So 80 meters per second. What does 80 meters per second look like? 83 actually, or 80. Yeah, 83. It's an 8-second burn. So we're going to burn early. Alright. Alright, now the sun's behind Minmus, so there's no sense in waiting. We'll get ourselves lined up. Retrograde to target. And we're going to wait to be 4 seconds away from that maneuver node we set. And we will start burning retrograde to target. Yep, that did help us a little bit, actually. It was giving us the closest intersect of 1,000 meters, and we were down to 900. So it did give us just a little bit of a help there. We're still a little off. Of course, I put no RCS on this. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay. Ooh, I forgot. I looked at it from here and thought I didn't put any of these RCS nozzles on there, but it's because of the taper, and I forgot about the taper. I panicked for a minute. I'll admit it. I panicked. These things, they happen. So we're going to aim this directly at this. Turn RCS on, linear docking mode. Okay. Just go for the long distance lineup. And of course, this lander is completely out of fuel. It has nothing. No monoprop. No fuel. Nothing. It does have a lot of ore, though. Ore that we want. Just close distance. A little faster than we're closing distance now. This is just a beautifully symmetrical craft, so this should really have no problem maneuvering with RCS. It should be the smoothest possible experience trying to dock with this thing. And some fine maneuvering based on what I'm seeing on the maneuver ball here. Slowing down, of course. Make sure we approach at a safe speed. Looking pretty good. A little high. And a little bit. There we go. Oh, I was not even watching the screen to see that happened. I was too busy watching the maneuver ball. So there we are. We have this slightly rescued. We can now share fuel. All right. Now, we're back to setting Deep Space Gateway as our target. We do have some inclination correction coming up. We're going to have to take care of that with an ascending burn, which I think is called normal, and anti-normal is, I don't know. I think it's always called normal if it's correcting. I really don't know. I give up. I give up on understanding that part. Radial in and radial out I kind of get, but that's about it. Of course, this is kind of lying to me, isn't it? Can we just transfer that in and get it to tell me what it'll actually take? Is this engine activated? No. It's activated. Strange. It's telling me I can't complete a 5-second burn. Both these engines are shut down, right? Yep, both the engines are shut down. We've got fuel transferred back into here. Huh. Well, it tells us the burn time, which can't be right. What the hell? Okay, yeah, that solved it. Better. This goofy craft. Oh, that made it kind of a freaky sound. See if we can get to a reasonably good spot to try and make a rendezvous here. There we go. 0.1 intersect. Get the sucker back to the gateway. Would be an 11-second burn at partial throttle. Let's make it a 2-second burn instead. It's kind of crazy. From this altitude up to the target altitude, we're basically pointing right at the gateway in order to catch up to it. That's kind of freaky. Directly aiming at target. Almost. Ever so slightly off. So 1 second away from our maneuver is where we're going to burn. A little bit of correction. Good. Wow, that translated to a very, very crappy adjustment there. So, let's... I'm starting to think not to trust that maneuver node when it, like, slides away from you. So I think you just keep burning the way you were burning. At least this time it was an easy fix. Alright, let's time warp to the station. Relative speed should be pretty low. Yep, 25.2 meters per second. Let's do that with a 2-second burn. I'm going to have to keep doing lander test flights while I hone all of this in and make sure that we're actually capable of sending down manned craft and getting them back without the tug. So we're not stranding any crewmen in a bad spot. Oh, we are just nowhere near using this maneuver node for what we actually need to do here. We're just going to let ourselves get close and manually do the adjustment here. We're going to eyeball it. We're going to eyeball it. Even though we seem to be heading quite literally directly at the station. So maybe it's not the smartest idea to do that. No, we're fine. We Gucci. Alright, Deep Space Gateway. There it is. All its glory. Sometimes I love Minmus gravity. That was quite the eyeballing experience there. 26.4 meters. So we just came to a stop 26 meters off of the station from quite fast. Quite fast. Now the question is, where am I going to dock everything? I guess I'm going to temporarily dock the tug here. Yeah, somehow, I don't know about that. I don't know why, for some reason, every time I decide to eyeball things, it just works better. Doesn't sound like it should work, I know, but... I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough clearance next to the transfer vehicle. pack up these solar panels real quick. Oh, okay. Nope, that's bad. Abort, abort, abort. There is a solar panel directly in front of the port that I was just planning to dock with. So let's station keep for just a second. Switch over to the station. Thankfully, that's a retractable. Okay. Alright. One more time. Okay, now I gotta immediately kill whatever auto strut was on there. So it doesn't wobble everything to death. Okay. No other auto strut. I always forget to disable that first, and then I freak out. Okay. Alright. That's cool. Replenish the ore tanks. I just want to see this factory in action. This refinery. So, we want... Let me see, there's liquid fuel and oxygen, just liquid fuel, or monoprop. So obviously we want just liquid fuel because we have a nuclear engine craft here. Thermal efficiency at 100%. That's good. That's pretty good. That means we're way overkilling the cooling capability. Which is definitely a good thing. I just don't know where that liquid fuel is pumping. Oh, it is pumping directly into the craft. Look at that! That is cool. Nice. That actually converts pretty quick. So there we go. We're getting liquid fuel refilled. From ore. I will probably refill the monoprop here and bring the lander over to its proper spot soon, but... Or I might even just wait. Do that later. Try and land this one more time on one of the ideal landing zones. Pretty good stuff. Be cool. I think that's absolutely amazing. That it's going to be way better for us. Anyway, let's take a look at how much science we got going on. Level crew? Nope. No luck there. Transmit science. 54 science. Station is definitely keeping up. Tons of electric charge. case you were wondering. A ridiculous amount of electric charge. Monopropellant as well. Still plenty of ore spots. Oxidizer. Liquid fuel. Can I, like, make this stay somehow? Yes, I can. It's just fun watching all these little gauges. So many places for liquid fuel in one station. I think we need more fuel tanks. I think that's what our station is missing. We need more fuel tanks. It's decided. All right, well, I'm going to start winding this down. Let's go check out our other two stations and see how much science we can gather from them. So Valentina Kerman Station. $173 science from here. Not bad. Transmit the science. Oh, this is burning through our electric charge here. Why is our electric charge so low? Maybe like going absolutely crazy with electric power with all these solar panels. Okay, well, let's we figure that out. What on earth is going on here? Should we I want to get the electric charge back up real quick. Let's present all 6 of those main panels to the sun, if at all possible. Oh yeah, that's definitely recharging a lot faster. This is, of course, then, like, wobbling kind of weird. I just want to let this recharge a little bit. Turn the lights off for a second. It's daytime, guys. Stop wasting the electric charge. Oh yeah, that's bringing it up much faster. Just those power levels soar. Alright. Second lab. 172 science. Transmit it. Good enough. Let me turn the lights back on. Perfect. And then let's check out Jebediah Kerman Station. She's actually getting us a fair amount of science. Actually, go ahead and unlock at least one thing tonight before we go. Before we call it a night. Yeah, I do need to get this transfer vehicle back over to Valentina Kerman Station, refueled and back over at some point. $112 science here. Jeb Kerman Station is really good on power. Unfortunately, more or less out of stuff to research. Hello, hello. Captain America. America. I agree. I agree with the America statement. Well, let's see. We just downloaded a lot of science. I want to see what I can unlock. And we started today with 1 science point. I have done no actual researching. It's only been on labs. All the stuff we've done previously. And 512 is where we're at for science. I love it. I do love it. So, I wanted command modules. That one was one I said I needed. Right. I don't think I particularly care about aerodynamics right now. So yeah, we're going to get command modules. Yeah, it does start to get, like, kind of game-breaking, the amount of science that I'm getting very rapidly. So I got 300. I could get these S3 tanks, which, I mean, I'd have to upgrade my pad probably anyway. Advanced Metalworks, which, Field Science, it's kind of cool. New probe cores. I like this one because it is very cheap, but I don't know. I think this is probably going to be my best bet. Getting the new communications accelerometer. I don't really need better power systems, I don't think. Everything seemed to be doing just fine-ish. So that's what we did. So we got a better relay antenna unlocked. The seismic accelerometer is now unlocked. Did I say this was the relay? Because this is actually the better relay. This is the regular direct communication. Then, like I said, we unlocked our command modules. So we now have a 3-man pod with built-in RCS, which I don't know if I'll end up using at all. The lander can, which again, I don't know if I'm going to use that one. The Lunar Excursion module, very appropriately named, which is a good bit heavier than the regular one, although it has its own RCS built in. This is the reason I really got it. The service bay. The 2.5 millimeter, or millimeter, wow. 2.5 meter service bay, not millimeter. That'd be a very small rocket. I dig it. I dig it. Of course, this is getting skipped over for now. I don't really need larger monoprop tanks or verniers or avionics hub yet. I think the next thing we're going to go for is going to be these final tier engines. Namely for the Mastodon. That'll be a good mainsail replacement for our K-24. Which actually, speaking of, I need to retire our K5 program. So I'm going to just quickly throw together a new rocket to replace it. All our lighter than 5-ton launchers are going to get retired. So, let's see. And here's the reason, really. K-24. A beautiful K-24. This gives us excellent cost savings. Hold on, this. Boom. So this is a 24-ton launcher. So 24 tons of payload for this 32K craft. So we're only paying about $13.50 for credits per ton to orbit using this. And that is wonderfully efficient. So I looked for one of my many play files. I looked for a way to try and do better. Like, we had these older K3s. This thing is old. I don't know how this thing's still there even. That one is old. K3G1. So, say goodbye, K3G1. K3G2. So this, the generation 2 of the 3-ton launcher. Here we're looking at a lot more money per ton. It's only 3 tons. So we're paying almost 4,000 credits per ton. So those are going to go away. So our old friend, the K3, is going to die. Here's the old version of the orbiter module. This one's actually really cheap. This one might actually be worth keeping. Let's see. How does the math work out to on that? This was only really good for 2.5 tons. Yeah, still pretty expensive. Yeah, I don't think there's anything where we're launching to orbit at 2.5 tons anymore anyway. So we're going to continue the cleanup here. And we're going to say that needs to go. This one's a little tough to rate. 3 tons to a lunar transfer. Or a mooner transfer. This might just have to stay. Could probably cut down the cost a little bit. That's what we could do with this one. Oh, hi, cat. Thanks for terror. Appreciate it. Okay, let's just compact it. So we're not damaging anything really. So this one's actually not bad. So my target really was about orbit. This is getting it to mooner transfer, so that's really not too bad. I might have just updated the wrong one. K3 mooner transfer. Ah! Okay, yep, I did update the wrong one. Well, then this one's getting trashed. I think. Let's try this again. The Gen 3 mooner. How is that so? This might be a keeper. Yeah, that's like significantly cheaper. And we've been using this for mooner transfer. So yep, sorry Gen 2, you're dead. Yeah, KEO launcher is gonzo. It's about the same cost. There's really no benefit to having it. K4? Nope. Can't go that. Okay, yeah, if you get rid of the fins, it's not so bad. Still, it's too much. We're getting rid of it. K5. Even with the fins that we no longer need. This was the one to beat. This is the one I had to try and 9,210. So I got to beat 9,210 for a 5-ton. So that one's now the tough one. So what I need, and I did a little bit of groundwork ahead of time again, just as a reminder. So I know what I need to put on here, just don't remember how much it was. So we're basically just going to make a proper Titan 2. Yeah, significantly cheaper. This does work as a 5-ton launcher. I'm just looking for efficiency in general. That's a good question. I was asked if I am looking for a specific type of payload capacity, but I am not. I'm just going through and clearing out all our launchers that are no longer cost effective. So the K5G3, that is going to die. And K7 is still valid, although I can't help but think I could do this cheaper, considering this is already 5 tons on its own. And I will reinvestigate that probably a little later. K15 totally toast, and it breaks my heart. It's an expensive launcher for what it pulls off. So here, let me drop this in as a new. This would be a K5G5. And I'm going to change the naming scheme as well. I just haven't finalized it, so that's just going to be my placeholder. Now, for comparison, for what efficient launchers, this is now let's see. This is a 15-ton launcher, mind you. 1,900 funds per ton to orbit. Where our new one is 1,560 ton or funds to orbit. So yeah, it saves us. So yeah, this is gonna be the way to go. And this is even short fueled on this to make the lifting capacity a little easier on the first stage. So based, and it's still more effective than that guy. And that does break my heart. I'm gonna miss it. But we must move forward. So our new 5-ton or less launcher. This is pretty much cheaper than anything else I can manage. And the only one that I'm going to be... Wow, it was more expensive. It is more expensive to use the K3G3 Lunar Transfer than it is to just use that one. Just ditch this and make a transfer stage when I need a transfer stage. Well, that does cost money then, so we're back to, okay. Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep that. So our 5-ton launch. Our 12. Now you can see these are where the price actually gets really effective. 18-ton. 18-ton, I think, is actually one of the more efficient. Yep, about 1,500, which is my target. 1,530. So slightly more efficient. 15. But the K24 is the one that knocks, if I remember correctly. This is 13 credits per ton to orbit. And this with a cheaper alternative. Hopefully tomorrow, when we finally unlock the... So this will get even cheaper. So this is definitely our winner. I could try and see. I can come up with something even cheaper than this, but I can't imagine how. And what's good about it does leave enough for us to fill up the mass as intended. I could probably make a version of this with more boosters. It already kind of has a very long burning upper stage. Hmm. Oh, there's always the twin bore. Wow. Yeah, the twin bore is just this one engine plus tank is. What would happen if I replace the mainsail down bottom with this? It gives you 1500 thrust. What's the efficiency like? 280 ASL, 285 ASL. So yeah, the mainsail's a little better. All right. And there's one thing I noticed I tend to see in comments. People tend to ask something along the lines of someone said, why are you using the worst engine you have? I think people are looking in the wrong place. Like, I was just looking at thrust level I need, but people tend to look here and go, oh yeah, whatever one has the highest thrust is the case, really. What you really need to look at is how heavy it is, how much weight it's contributing. Yes, of course, the thrust level, so you can make sure you have enough to take off, but the more important thing is the engine ISP that efficiency is everything. Thuds are actually a good early engine when you compare it with something like the Reliant. First stage engine, 250, 265, and this has 275 at sea level engine ISP. So this actually has, you know, and of course the Terrier. But between those three early engines, the Thud actually has the best at sea level efficiency to get you off the ground, which is only slightly less efficient. Then you're actually improving your efficiency and giving yourself vectoring. So these make really good Reliant. Actually, so good. I'm saying early, but that's what we're using for 18-ton launcher. Is 2 Thuds and a Reliant. It's a really good combination. You get more thrust. You get a higher gimbal range and roll control, and this sings one direction. Superior roll control, superior gimbal, which is going to save you on turning loss. It does give you higher thrust, but it is so when you get to a heavier vehicle like this, where you're driving more mass, and the extra mass of your engines becomes a smaller percent of the mass of the vehicle, then your efficiency of using a combination like this actually goes up. So this would show me more delta V to use the Bobcat, but at a lower thrust to weight ratio, it means you're going to be fighting the force of gravity. So they actually come out pretty comparable, and like I said, with Thuds than to roll out of control. Trying to do it. I think people look at whatever other people put up. And I've seen that on other people's YouTube videos as well. Some of it really comes down to the rocket, especially YouTube. I mean, come on, guys. Everyone thinks they're an expert. I don't even think I'm an expert. And let's see. I do need to fill this gap, though. I've got, you know, the 5-ton launcher. Great, that's our lightest. We can go straight for a Mooner transfer if we only want to do 3 tons. 7 tons, fine. And then we don't have anything until 12 tons. So, take kind of the stretched K7 concept. One of my favorite boosters here. This always is a good choice. At least for stuff I'm making, I tend to under than using a first stage and second stage in the suborbital trajectory than a third to complete orbit. I'd rather use the second stage to do that and use boosters. It does tend to be a pretty good. Love these boosters. They are one of my favorites. So this, yeah, this wouldn't be that bad. If this manages to pull off 9 tons, which theoretically it should. Let's invest. Yeah, I think I need to just try it out. Because this would be pretty good value, I think. Wow, okay. Did I do my math right? Okay, I gotta find out on this one. I was gonna cut stream much earlier, but I'm finding out on this one. Because if this actually gets 9 tons to orbit, let's tone this down right here, so we don't hit aerodynamic pressure issues. If this does get us to orbit with 9 tons, we're looking at just a little over 1,200 funds per ton, which is absurd. That's absurdly cheap. How do I even need to launch? I don't even have anything in mind. Let's reroute for a second. So I can keep track of what the weight is of our payload. I think what I'm going to do, because I thought this was a good idea before. You there. There you go. I just want the truss version with no shroud. Like that. I think that would look pretty cool when we throw the tank on it. And we do want the tank. Maybe it's a little big. Let's not use that one. Snow? No. Okay. Visual service module. It's gonna be underpowered for what I want to do with this, I think. I'll just change my mind about what I want to do with it then. How about that? Let's do 4 of these. Let's put some tanks on for monoprop. Okay, let's use this indent. We're gonna want some of these on there. Okay, that looks good. Actually shorten this. You know what? I'm creating something I already have. Just for a second. This. All I need is to uprate a little bit. To over to Jebediah Kerman Station here. So I just need to make this heavier somehow. How do I make this heavier in a useful way? Find a new spot for that. Single version of this. A good spot for this. I guess it's almost up to 9 tons. Need to add more. Nope, I'll do it. That would almost do it. those out a little more. These are actually like the least weight efficient tanks, by the way. Don't use these in the same capacity I'm using them. Don't run some things. Don't recommend it. That is a very heavy fuel tanker for Jebediah Kerman Station. Over what we were shooting for. And we're gonna see if we end up trashing a perfectly good bunch of fuel with a underpowered rocket. Let's just find out. So we used this. We used this. Game's getting a little laggy here. And this. And the Bobcat. And this will be the last thing for the night, I think. Bruce.